Hi, dear parents. Good day and welcome to today's episode of the A Plus Parent. Well, today I will be sharing with you a continuation from last week's video. And this is to tell you that if you haven't watched it yet, you need to so that you can clearly understand where we're coming from and where we're heading to. Yeah. So, anyways, last week I shared some things on things your kids will never forget you did for them. Things kids never forget that their parents did. And so this is very important because a lot of times you find that quite a number of parents or some parents, just do this parenting thing in a very lackadaisical manner. Parents mean to say in a very anyhow way, like they just do it like abeg. They bring this attitude and mindset of I cannot come and go and kill myself and die. That kind of feeling, that kind of attitude is what they bring into parenting, which shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that way because parenting is something that I believe has to be done in a very, very, very intentional way. As a parent, you have to be intentional about your parenting, and that is literally one of the reasons why I get to do this, right? Where I get to come up here, where I get to share things that I think are very helpful and necessary in your parenting journey because parenting is, I feel, is a calling, is a ministry on its own because you're literally raising people that will, in one way or another, you know, add up, contribute to the society, contribute to life, right? So the kind of contribution they make literally or really has, okay, let me take that again. Your parenting, the way you parent your child, has a lot to do with the kind of contribution that child will end up making in society. So it is very, very, very extremely important that parents start, parenting with more intentionality. And that is the reason why I'm actually sharing this things you do for your kids that they will never forget, right? Because all of these things adds up to the kind of mindset they grow to have, the kind of POVs they grow to have, the kind of attitude and behavior they grow to have towards other people, towards even themselves, towards life in general is very important because there are things that you might count as little. There are things that you might count as is nothing or you feel it doesn't matter. But to that child, it matters a whole lot. The way you talk to them, the things you say to them, the things you do to them, the things you do in their presence. It matters a whole lot. And it will actually affect them even when they grow older. It will. So all of these things matter a whole lot. So last week I actually started this topic on the things you do for your kids that they will never forget. And now the second on the list is, hold on, I'm here with my book because I don't want to forget these things. Each point is actually very, very important. The second on the list is your you know, words and emotional safety. And I think I've said it here maybe once or twice or more that your words, the things you say to your kids matters a lot. It matters. It really matters because your words, those words, what you speak to them is like a voice ringing continually in their head, like the way bell rings. It rings in their head, right? So your words really matters a lot. Now, how do you create emotional safety even with your words? The first thing, speak positively over them and to them. Speak positively. Avoid using harsh words, abusive words, negative words, curse words. Avoid it. Avoid it. As parents, we have to learn to speak positively over our children. Very, very important. Another thing to do is to listen without judging. This really matters a lot because you find that sometimes Sometimes your child wants to report something to you, but they don't know how you would take it. They don't know how you would react. So sometimes they just lock up, like just forget about it. They probably tell their friends or confide in someone else. But you see, as a parent, I think you should be your child's number one best friend because they're literally living with you. They spend they spend a lot of time with you or like in the same house. So it is very important for you to build that relationship with your child where they're able to trust you enough to tell you, if not everything, but at least a lot of things, the very important ones, especially, right? So we have to learn to listen without judging. I say we because even myself, because I vividly remember how a child wanted to report something. I don't remember what it was exactly what happened in the class, but what I remember now was the aftermath. And I think I was now questioning the child that, so why did you not report? And she said, I didn't know if you were going to spank me or what you were going to do. That's how she said it, and I'm like, I think she should have still spoken at least. Right? So it's better for us to learn how to listen without judging, even if they are wrong, even if they did not act the way they ought to or the way we expected them to. At least listen. First of all, listen. Another way to provide emotional safety for our kids is to emotionally. Protect them emotionally. Their emotions matters a lot, especially when they are still at their formative years, when they're still trying to understand these emotions, right? Understand. There's this movie, this animation, Inside Out. I think every parent should actually watch it, Inside Out 1 and 2. It just talks on how, all of these emotions start to form, even from the early childhood as a baby, how they start to understand when they are sad, when they are angry, when they are happy, when they are disgusted. All of these different feelings and emotions. Sometimes they don't even really know how to express it, right? But you as a parent, it is your job to help them learn, right? I know we actually teach this in schools at that nursery stage from when they are 3 to 4 years old, when they start learning different emotions, when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're angry, we actually get to teach them in schools. While as a parent, you also have to step in and help them understand their emotions as well. The last thing here on how you can help them feel emotionally safe is making the home safe. Make the home a safe place. The home shouldn't be where children do not want to go to or where they do not want to be. The home should be a safe space, a safe place for the kids. This matters a lot because if the home is not safe, they will run elsewhere. They will look for other alternatives. So ensure that the home is a safe place for them. Not that when you are in the sitting room, when they are in the sitting room watching TV, and the moment you just enter, it's as if all hell is let loose or something, and they'll just stand up and move to the bedroom. By the time you enter the bedroom, they'll stand up and move to the kitchen. It shouldn't be. The home should be a safe place for every child. Another thing here, which is number three now, another thing that your child will never forget you did for them as a parent is putting your love in action. This is important. I mean, even in a romantic relationship, when someone says I love you, or in a friendship, when someone says I love you, it has to be proven, it has to be backed up with action. Like you have to show workings, basically. And even our Lord and Savior Jesus, he showed it when he said, I love you. John 3:16 just summarizes it. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. He loved the world so much Therefore, he gave, right? So your love has to be put in actions, not just by telling the child I love you. Some parents don't even say that. It's like a heavy thing in their mouths to say, right? So, but whenever we say it, right, we also have to show it. It has to be seen in our action. And how can we do this? One, showing physical affection. I remember talking about this in a video I shared on the five love languages, which is no, I'm not going over it. Go and watch the video. Watch it, watch it, watch it. The five love languages. And which is, if you've heard of the five love languages, it still applies even to our kids. It's not for adults alone. The quality time, physical touch. Okay, I said I was not going to talk about it, but go and watch it, please. Right? So, showing physical affection, like hugging your kids. It's not a crime to hug your child. It's not. It's not a crime to hold your child's hand. It's not a crime to understand what their love language is and speak this love language, right? It's not a crime to actually show affection to your own child, your child. And affection here is basically born out from a place of genuine love for that child, for your child, genuine love for that child, right? Another way to put your love in action is to celebrate small wins. Celebrate small wins. See the kind of joy children derive from this. Mm. I don't want to exaggerate, but I think I would say it cannot be measured. No, I think I'm exaggerating. But honestly, children feel very joyful when they are celebrated. Like in class, when a child solves a problem or gives an answer to a question, and you tell everybody, clap for him, clap for Bello, clap. Ha! The child will first of all feel like, is it me that answered this? Did I just do that? There's this pride, this joy that is just on their face, and they feel on top of the world, like they feel like Superman at that point in time, right? They feel like they can do anything. It's just boosts their morale basically. So let us as parents learn to celebrate even the little things, even when your child maybe washes their underwear for the first time or cooks noodles for the first time, of course with your guidance. Please don't leave them in the kitchen. Right? When they do anything, right, no matter how little it is, celebrate them. It could be as little as, clapping your hands for them, giving them a high five, praising them. Wow, that was amazing. You did so well. Just however you choose to, or if it's gifting them something, whatever, however you choose to celebrate them, just at least celebrate. Let there be a celebration. You know, let there be a celebration. Celebrate them, even in the little things. Celebrate them because it really shows that you see them, and it is also some sort of validation as well. This is like a deja vu now because I think I've mentioned it again. I've mentioned it before. It's some sort of validation, right? Even we as adults, we sometimes want to get that validation from people we care about. That is why whenever I want to do something, we seek other people's opinions. Part of it is because we actually want to get that validation from them. Say, that, oh, does this thing make sense? Is it okay? Right? So when we celebrate them, it is as well some sort of validation and some sort of recognition that you actually see them, you see the effort that they are making. So yes, it is very, very important. And the third thing here is to laugh together often. Laugh, 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 laugh. Don't they? See, Nigeria there's a lot going on in this country. Ha! So find some things to laugh about. Please laugh. And even when your children, laugh with them. Laugh, 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 laugh. It's good to laugh. Please laugh often. And lastly, love them unconditionally. Don't love them only on their good days. Mm-mm. Our Heavenly Father does not love us only on the days we pray. He doesn't love us less when we don't pray. He doesn't love us less when we don't read the Bible. He still loves us. Why? Because that love empowers us to be better. It empowers us to to do more, right? So we should learn to love our kids unconditionally. That is agape love. Agape love, right? And Christ is our number one example. If he's able to love us unconditionally, then we should be able to love our children unconditionally as well. Sometimes it might not be easy, but we ask for grace every day and we receive that grace to love them unconditionally. All right, so number four on the list, the fourth thing that your child, your kids will never forget you did for them is teaching them life skills. Teach your kids life skills. And permit me to say is the truth is you cannot give what you don't have, right? So if you as a person you haven't even learned these life skills, it's been very impossible for you to teach your kids. It's very impossible because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. You can't. So if there are things you haven't even learned, it would be very impossible for you to teach your kids as well. So these skills, life skills, are very important. And don't just leave it to the schools to do it alone. Don't leave it to the teachers alone. You have your part to play in building and molding this child's life. So don't just feel like, oh, the school will do that, the school will do that, the school. You are the primary caregiver over that child. You are the primary, the number one role model over that child. So just leave it to the school or other things to teach them, because there are a lot of things that will teach them. Social media will teach them. Their friends will teach them both the good and the bad, right? So please, you have a very important role to play in your child's life. And as I said, teach them life skills, knowing how to communicate to people, soft skills, knowing how to relate to people. What kind of character do you portray? And I think I'm actually coming to that, to teach by example. That's number four, anyways. So the first thing I said is to teach them life skills, give them responsibility. Don't feel like um um they are too small. Yes, they are. I think they are actually age appropriate responsibilities, right? To give the kids. So based on their age, there are things that you could actually assign to them, like in the house when they get to a certain age, like five. I don't think a 5 year old is too young to start learning how to wash plates, wash the dishes, right? A 5 year old is not too young to start learning how to tie their shoelace, to pack their bag, right? So start giving them responsibilities. Don't wait until they are 15, 16. At that time, it's just most likely be too late, right? So from when they are little, let teach them how to start taking responsibilities. Now, I'm not saying you should now dump everything on them and say because you are giving them responsibilities. Mm-mm. You are just guiding them and teaching them, all right? So give them age appropriate responsibilities. This way they know, they recognize when to take up tasks and how to actually handle it, how to deliver. Because it's not by just giving them these responsibilities and leaving them to do it however they want. So you still have to guide them, teach them on how to carry out these responsibilities well as they ought to, right? And as I said again, age appropriate responsibilities. Not that you now give them the responsibilities of paying house rent at what age, or you just put a whole lot of burden on their shoulder. No, but age appropriate responsibilities. And the next thing here is to encourage their interest. I think I'm actually going to talk about this in another video. How parents can help their kids identify or discover their talents, their skills, their gifts is very important, because you find a couple of kids, teenagers who don't know what they want to be, what they want to do with their life, what they don't even know what they are good at. They don't know the things they are able to do, right? That is because they've not exactly really gone through that guidance, on how they can discover what these gifts are, because I personally believe that no one is born without a gift. Nobody is born without a gift, because I believe that everyone has a seed of greatness in them. It's what is really needed is just that guidance to help them discover this gift, nurture it, and help it to grow, to germinate, and so of course bear good fruits as well. So every parent has that role to play as well, ensuring you're able to help your kids discover what their gifts are, what their interests are, because all of this helps them know what to do with their hands, what to do with their life, what to do with their time. It's very important, right? And the last thing is to teach by example. Teach by example. If you're going to um if you're going to help your kids learn life lessons and grow, one way to do that is to teach by example. It's just like saying you are telling your child to read, but you, my dear parents, you do not read. You're always on your phone 247. Well, okay, except you're reading audiobooks from your phone. But even at that, it's very important for us to learn to teach our kids by example, right? In the way we talk to people, in the way we treat people, in the way we do things generally, because they are watching you. They are watching you. They are picking a whole lot of things from you, even things that you didn't expect. They are watching you, and it's sticking like a magnet, right? So the last but not the least here on things your kids will never forget you did for them, or you did for them as parents, is trust, respect, and legacy. Trust is very important, because for you to build any form of relationship, trust has to be in place, be it a business relationship, a work relationship, whatever kind of relationship, a romantic relationship. Trust has If you don't trust a person, there is no way you will build any form of close relationship with that person, except the relationship is just a um what do they call this thing now, like a friends benefit kind of relationship, where we only communicate when we need something from each other, right? We shouldn't be. In every parent child relationship, trust is very important. And if your child cannot trust you enough, that is a big problem, because they will build that trust with someone else or with something else, right? And it's be it would be like you are um a competitor, and you are fighting for their own trust against this other thing or other person that they have you know put their trust in, right? So it's very important as parents that we're able to build that trust, and it starts from when they are little. You don't wait until when the child is already an adult or almost an adult or in their teenage years. No, it has to start from when they're little. When they're little, it's very important. And as I said, respect also is important. And how can we do this? Basically, one, apologize when you're wrong. Yes, apologize. Learn to say I'm sorry. Even if you don't say I'm sorry exactly, I could just learn to acknowledge when you've said or done something wrong to them, right? You can say things like, oh, I didn't see it that way. I didn't know it was gonna hurt you. Just be sorry and let it show and say it. I think it's best to actually just say it and mean it. Not just by saying sorry. Mean it, because they will know. They'll feel like the highest you'll say is sorry. But you have to mean it, okay? So we should learn to apologize when we are wrong. I know it's not easy. It's not easy, but we have to learn it. And two is to believe in them. Believe in them, because if you don't, it will gradually crumble their self-esteem. It will gradually crumble their self-respect, right? So show that you actually believe in them. There are times when they actually want to do things, and maybe they want to do it their own way. Once in a while, I think it's okay to allow them. Of course, while you are still watching them, right? Even if you know that this thing no end well. Because sometimes we as individuals, we don't learn things easily. We learn things the hard way. And the hard way sometimes could be when we have decided that, oh, I'm going to do this in my own way. And we get to do it in our own way. And we see it doesn't work out, then we'll now come back and say, okay, fine. Let's do it your way, right? So sometimes it might actually work out fine in their own way. So I mean, the major thing is just learn to believe in them. Learn to believe in them, because when you believe in them, it also helps them to believe in themselves as well. Then create family traditions. This is a way of also building legacy. Create family traditions. Let there be things that when they look back, they know that this is a part of the family, is what reminds them of what the family is. So create family traditions, and that will lead into the next thing, which is praying for them and guiding them spiritually. So one of the best, in fact, I think the best, not one of the best legacy you can hand over to your children is God. God. Building a relationship with God, having a relationship with God. That is the best legacy you can hand over to your children. Yes, I know there's there are buildings, investments, money, material things, which are important, right? Because you don't want your children going broke. But the best, as I said, the best number one is God. Because a life outside Christ is literally a crisis. And it starts from the little ways you even introduce them to God, which I'm going to do a video on. I think I said I'm going to do how many videos now? Of course, I'll do them, right? Introducing your children to God, even from their young age. See, we live in a world where there are so many voices. Oh, there are so many voices. There are so many things calling their attention, and it's either they are for God or against God. So, which side are you on, and which side would you train your children to be on? Would they be on the Lord's side? Very important. And that leads me to announce that we'll be starting a 30 days prayer. Yes, just short prayers we can make over our kids as parents. Just look out for it on day one. Day one will be dropping, will be starting very soon, most likely next week. So be on the lookout for it. I'll be sharing it for the next 30 days. And these are very important because we live this is literally perilous times that the Bible talked about. We are in it now. This is the perilous times. So it's the final for every parent to, um wake up, sit up, buckle up, everything. All right, so these are just a few points of mine on the things that you do for your kids as a parent that they will never forget. Please be able to share other things you think parents do for their kids that they will not forget in the comment section. I'll be on the lookout for it, and I will definitely see you next week. Until then, stay blessed. Stay blessed. Stay blessed. Stay blessed. All right. Bye for now.